Outer Orange.
Welcome back to another video of Shadow vs. Evolve. Welcome back, Peelies. I made a this video and I really want to make a Haven one, as that's the other craft I play a crap ton of. I was playing the heck out of this craft. Actually, I was playing this craft the most last set, and then I pivoted and played Abyss for the event that I went to, which was crazy because I took like a pretty long break from the game, and then I came back and I pivoted really super hard after testing for a bit. But anyway, long story short, we're here with some Haven with 1415. I wanted to showcase you guys some decks that I think would be cool to try out. Some of them I tested, some of them are a little new to me, so we're gonna kind of go through them. I only have 3 for this one. There is Amulet Control you can also kind of play, but I'm not really super big on that one. There's more variants of controls, but my favorite one is definitely this one. This is the Marjo Haven deck, and before it used to be just Wasteland Haven, and then as we got the Uma cards, it became Marjo Haven, and then now we're in set 1415 where you can actually throw Jerry in here. I was running like Meowskers packages as well, but I don't know how I feel about Jerry quite yet. I think the AoE burn is pretty disgusting, but also it's a little hard to pull off with the 5-drop Jerry. But I do think this deck's pretty cool. So basically, it is just a standard deck. We're just quite literally adding in the Jerry card. So if you've already had this deck, you basically are done. You're just adding 2 cards of the new Omen. You're adding the Omen, and the old Omen wasn't played. Now you're basically playing both Jerry Omens, and that's it. The deck's done. I personally am a big fan of the Tsukiyomi package, both the 1 and the 2, so over some other cards that people run, like Meowskers and stuff like that, because I think the stack just matters so much. The stacking is setting your 5 drops to the bottom to then get them back out with your 6-drop Marjo card. Very, very important. You can also, if you want to really pivot, you can actually run the McQueen package as well with the 2-drop Amulet from Uma if you really want to try something else out. And then some people run the Ward guy for the Adventurer. Over the Adventurer, you can also do that as well. There's a 1-drop Ward that you can also play, so if you want to do that, that's also an option as well, so try that out if you want to. But this is Marjo, basically just really aggro, just pure aggro. Here's basically beating your opponent's skull in as fast as possible and try to win as quick as possible. That's basically this deck's whole purpose. And then we have just a early thing where we can kind of draw through our deck a little bit faster. We can abuse the Great Testimony here, where we get to burn the opponent's leader on top of also selecting mid follower, destroying it. It's a pretty good effect, but you do need to discard 3 for it. You can get your hand back, but it's a little tough. Also, you can do the effect of like not having no cards in hand, and this will still proc, so just a little FYI. And having a little extra AoE burn towards the end also is really good. This is easier to set up now versus the old way, so there's that. Next we have, this is Pure Control with the new Gilney stuff. So this runs the new Marwyn as well. You want to get a Torment of Despair token, which I believe banishes, remember correctly. It actually doesn't explain here what it does, and there's no way to look it up on deck log right now, so I actually don't exactly know what this token does. I just have a Japanese version. I think it banishes, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But this one basically, if you have at least 3 followers, if your opponent has 3 followers, you basically get the token. So basically, when you're at a disadvantage, this will help you stay in an advantage, where if you're getting rushed early wide board, you get the token, and also you also get to heal. So pretty good card there on its own. I run this new Angel's Blessing as well that lets you heal 2, draw 2. Also pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of this card because I think keeping having a turn where this is all you do feels kind of bad. It's like a do nothing card, but still. We also got a new version. There's an Angel card like this, but this one's just in this one. I'm actually surprised we didn't get this sooner. It literally just says on 3 banish something, and you can banish anything, and it just instantly banishes anything on the board. It'll go. So this is pretty cool because it's a 3-drop spell banish. You can also just run Paradise Vanguard in the slot as well if you really want a guy on the board. I think either one is fine, but if you're trying to go for more control and you don't want your opponent like ever interacting with your board, this is also just really good because there's nothing there to touch. Some decks actually need to select something to do their spells, and if you have nothing to select, you can't do anything. So this is a good way to kind of play into that control aspect. So that's also really cool. With Gilneas here, she helps you get your life back. Basically, she has Drain on her, and she's really good actually in Sanguine, unironically, but no surprise there. But basically, you have Drain, you can select another follower on the field, give it +2, -2, and it says let any other follower, could be your own as well. And then she also puts a Ravenous Sweetness token into your EX area as well, so she lets you also kind of play around with tokens. And then also we have the late game finish of running Planetary Fracture, and we have this to shuffle back our Cemetery, which helps us undeck ourselves out in case we do go for the Planetary Fracture, but we're close to deck out. So this helps you fix that problem as well, to deck out your opponent basically. Or if you're playing into Thief Sword where they're constantly trying to deck you out, you basically have a way to undo that. So that's also there as well. And everything else is just more control. It's just basically a control deck. So running all the control cards and running also my favorite card. This is basically just like different Chubby Marwyn. Whereas Ward Bane Aura, basically it's unkillable half the time. Most cards can't touch this thing, and if you drop it, again, it can't be selected, so any select abilities don't work either. So yeah, really good card there. And then we have this amulet. I'm not the biggest fan of this amulet. It's like okay. You have to keep healing for to keep proccing, but it's not terrible. You can also kill it off with this if you really need to. So yeah, there's that. That's basically this deck. Just a very, very heavy control build. And then you basically try to go for this as your win con. This is your win con. If we had this at 3, I think this deck would be infinitely stronger, but it's not bad as is. I also have this little stacker here. You basically just using her as a snipe. She's just a snipe. You can discard this for the second effect if you wish. So there's that. Last but not least, I have the Ward Haven deck. Now this deck I always thought was kind of poopy, and I think now it actually feels less poopy. I think it's not poopy deck anymore because we've gotten a lot of good cards recently, and then in the recent set, like with the Festivus and the 14-15 now, we actually got even more good cards. So I'll talk about kind of, so the whole point of this is you basically want wards on the board as much as possible because you get to burn and basically have an annoying board that your opponent keeps having to swing into, or you deal with storm better because your opponent quite literally can't attack you directly, and then you just basically are playing into that type of play style. We have this new angel card that we're about to get, which basically buffs up you can buff up your wards this way. She also has ward on her own. We have this new festive fox that also gets us a fox invitation, which is also ward and heals you. We have this little ward, another also ward. You can give something storm, so it's a little bit more of a finisher. We have Jean here. Jean's just there just to, you heal so much, they don't care about the minus 2 so much. Also her evol's pretty good as it deals 3 AoE to the board. If it lives. We have this guy's been around for a little bit now, since set 13. Also insanely good card, made Haven a lot stronger as you can top 4 call a bunch of 2s. You can call 1-2. We have a lot of options of what you can call. Really good. We have the new Sarisa, who also says while there's 3 cards on the board, she gets Storm. You can set me on the field, give it -1/-1, so you can kind of control the opponent's board if you need to. Also a really good card there. She also has ward on her. And we got this new card as well from 15, which that's this card called Ward Follower, which you draw 1. I believe there's another card that works with the Banish Zone and the Ward. I think it's new Wilbur. We'll talk about that in a little bit. An old card here. This is well, it's not that old. It's actually a set 8 card that also lets you select 2. It lets you revive wards that are 2 cost, which also helps you with your setup because we have so many better wards now to work with. Also, still running the Jean. Jean lets you just go go for storm damage, and then also this one doesn't. This is why another reason why I'm running the 2-drop Jean, because of her. We can give you Storm, give you +1/+1, and then you can also call a card off of our Evolve ability, which is also pretty good. Running this new card is here as well. So it says select a follower and you search with ward that costs 2 less, so you can summon it. So it shows you summon more wards as well to just keep the wards going. Also has an Evolve effect. And then we have the new Wilbert, who also lets you check top 5 and summon a follower with wards that cost 2 cost or less. And then it has a second ability where it's select any follower in the field, destroy it, activate only if there's at least 3 followers of ward in your view. So basically you can kill someone off and as ward itself. And then we have the old Wilbert that also burns when something is taken off the board. So whenever a ward exits the field, you get to deal your opponent's leader 1. So that's basically that. And then here we just have the evolves here. I think the only one I'm less familiar with is this one. It says deal each enemy follower in the field damage equal to the number of other followers on your field with ward. So that's also incredibly good. So you can AoE through with this card as well. So that's also really solid. Also a really beautiful card. I think the card's like super pretty. A little draw card here to help us out. We obviously run this at max because it also gives you +2 if you summon a ward. I actually always forget about that sometimes. And then we have the Jean, I guess, at the AoE, which also lets you heal as well. And then we also have the Angel we saw, which also selects far field. It gets +1/+1 one more time. So yeah, that's basically the deck. This is the deck I haven't tried yet. The other 2 I'm very familiar with. This one I'm a little bit new to. This seems really cool. I just want to showcase these. I think they're all really cool. I think they're all very playable decks too. This one's very popular. Like this is like one of the more popular ones. This one is probably less popular, but this is already with the restrictions. So now at least this deck is like officially like restricted in Japan as well, since we've already had the restriction on our side. So this one's also fun to play. Also, you can kind of play into this whole deck out thing. I actually faced someone who tried to do this to me over the weekend, and it was like one of the most stressful matches I've ever had because I was playing Abyss. Obviously, I was holding a lot of like mill cards in my hand, and I couldn't play them because I had deck out. And that was really scary. Really scary matchup. So like, he was playing a 50 card deck just to guarantee that he wouldn't deck out, and he was just putting like all removal in it and just guaranteeing that he wouldn't banish his own bad cards. And to me specifically, he banished a lot of his heal. When he procced this card, it was like all he had left. I discarded his hand, and his only out was really this card. and a couple other cards he had to like help him draw. He had like the amulet to help him draw, and then he drew into this and he played it, and then he basically hurt himself in a way. And then I was able to just barely recover. I had 4 cards left in deck. I barely got to an out and just barely won. So really scary matchup. If you really feel like you're gonna see a lot of Abyss, this deck is not too bad into Abyss. I think I got a little lucky with what I got, what was in my hand and what got banished off my 10. It was really scary. 4th of my deck disappeared. So yeah, really cool deck. And then obviously this is the new one. That's basically, I just wanted to showcase these decks. I think it's if you like are very efficient in like one craft, it's really easy to get these decks going. You'll probably already have most of these cards. And for Haven specifically, a lot of these cards aren't reused aside from like this guy specifically. So what I'm getting at is it's not that hard to build multiple decks within the craft, especially since some of these are a little bit separate. In Abyss, a lot of the decks use the same cards, so you have to like have multiple playsets. But luckily for this one, you don't need multiple playsets. It's mainly the Jean and the Jeans primarily, and like the ward guy. The ward guy is luckily cheap. The Jeans, on the other hand, might be a little bit harder to get to, especially after just over this past weekend that just happened. With a lot of stuff went up in price. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to showcase that. I thought it'd be a fun little video to kind of go over, show you guys what's going on, and I'm probably going to stop that with these. Unfortunately, I'm less familiar with some of the other crafts. I haven't been playing as much Forest. I'm not as big into Sekka as some other people are. I think the art is cool. I'm just not big into the playstyle. But I might showcase a Puppet deck because Puppet got a bunch of support as a set, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do like one big video about Puppet if I really enjoy how the deck plays. We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. Anyway, guys, peace out. 50 cards, shop cards if you need anything and all that good stuff. 50 cards does do a bunch of Shadowverse stuff, so feel free to check that out. As always, Code Orange saves you some money there. And then I also have my dual spec code. I am an ambassador for dual spec, so feel free to use OuterOrange for that. And then last but not least, I also have BCWSUPPLIES, Orange10, saves you some money and gives you some supplies. So then, guys, peace out. That's fun. I'll see you guys in a future video, and like and subscribe. Boop. What do you think?